If you want to take a little stretch break, go right ahead. I want to introduce you all to Brooke Oliver.
Hi, everyone. My name is Brooke, and I'm one of the counselors here at Sierra College. And something that we're going to work on for the next little bit before we send you out to have a break and go on a tour is the very first, most important step in starting with your academic and career goal. Something that Willie talked about and that other people alluded to is that it's really important to have an idea of what you're coming to Sierra for and ultimately where it is that you want to end up. And that has to do with academic and career planning. We do want you to be thinking about the end goal. So today we're going to talk about something called interest groups, interest areas. Tomorrow we're going to spend time specifically on career, and then there's going to be some workshops on Friday so that we can get you kicked off and moving in the right direction. The most important thing is we want to make sure that the courses that you're taking are ones that are going to count for where it is that you want to go. And so we have some tools and some ways to get there, and today's the kickoff for that. So the first thing is congratulations on your graduation. You worked really hard for that, so I give you major props for that. Has it kind of, it's sunk in, you're past all of that. I would venture to guess that you all got hit with probably 3 questions, everybody. So family, friends, all that stuff. So you're graduating, so what are you doing next? And you had an answer, right? I'm going to college. Check. And then they said, so what was the next question? Which college? And you had an answer. Sierra College. Right? All right. Then, what was the next question? What's your major? Okay, what's your major? What are you going to study? Now, we actually asked you that question a while ago. Do you remember filling out that huge, long application online? That was kind of a mean thing for us to ask you when you're back in senior year to try and commit to something that you're going to study for the next 1, 2, 4, or 8 years. And you may not have answered it quite right. So, I would venture that there would be 3 answers or 3 ways that you got to that answer as you're filling out that application and clicking. Think about which one you were. You either had a major in mind, you went through our list of almost 50, and clicked, found yours and clicked it. All right, cool, done. Then there were those of you who had one in mind, went through the list, didn't find what you thought you wanted to do, didn't know maybe what it was called, and then picked something that you kind of hoped was close enough. And then there's another group that didn't have a clue, went through the list, maybe found something interesting, or you went to the first one, which means we have a whole lot of applied art and design majors, or you did the old, that one trick, okay? But we have focused on what classes you are going to take in this semester and for continuing semesters based on what you put on there. So we want to do something today that is going to help you to confirm what you've chosen, clarify it, potentially change it, because it's never too late to change the direction. But we do want to have you thinking about it so that we don't have you taking classes that don't count or that end up not being worth your time, money, and effort. So, there's 3 myths around picking a major. And the first one is that when you pick a major, that means that that's what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Right? So I hear this from students a lot. They have a fear. They're like, I don't really know. I don't think I should pick anything yet. So they kind of do what we call swirl. They take a lot of different classes, and they end up being here for a lot longer than they needed to, without coming in and telling us, I just don't know. I'm not sure that that's really what I want to do. So the idea is that that's a complete myth. It does not decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life. It will tell you what you're going to concentrate on in college. Right? That's pretty much all it does. It's the core set of classes that you're going to become an expert in. The core set of classes that you're going to take a lot of different professors, gain a lot of knowledge, and then if we plan it right, it's actually going to lead you into your first job out of college, hopefully at an excellent wage that allows you to move out and have a car and do all that cool stuff. So we think, the way I do it, I'm a career counselor, is we say you're really just committing to what it is that you're going to spend quite a bit of your education doing and learning about, and then what are you going to do for the next maybe 3, 5, maybe 8 years after school. And then after that, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to stay on that path. It might be the perfect path for you and you just zoom ahead. It might end up that you get out there and find out, oh, I didn't even know that there was a new way to go with this, and you head off that way. Or the way that the world is changing is so fast and you're changing as well. So it might be that 5 years, 8 years out, you kind of decide that's not exactly what I want to do. And you might go in a new direction. And that's all okay. It has to be. We have to be flexible with what's out there. So the idea is that picking a major now will not decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life, but we do need you to start getting narrowed down towards it so that we're getting you prepared to get in and get out and get on with what it is that you want to do. The second myth, and I hear this from parents a lot, is, oh, they don't really have to declare a major yet. They can just do general ed for a little while, for like a couple years, and then they can declare later. Has anybody heard that? Yeah, it's not true. Remember, we're talking about myths? That's how it was when your parents went to school. All right? You did have a little bit more time, but the expectation now, if you're thinking that you're going to transfer, those transfer schools are expecting you to start your major here and have usually at least 18 units done. That's 6 classes, so that means we've got to get you started pretty soon if you're on a 2-year timeline. You may not be on a 2-year timeline. We can slow things down if that's what needs to happen, but you'd still like to get it in and out as fast as possible. And we don't want you to be held up because you haven't taken care of what makes you an excellent candidate to actually go. All right? So general ed is definitely something that you can take care of in the first semester. We're not asking you at that point, although I will tell you, if you are a nursing, you're a pre-nursing major, if you're a business major, or you're a STEM major, then you have some series of classes that need to start this fall if you want to stay on track to get in and get out. So those folks actually are on a tighter timeline and have a few more things that are being asked of them. So the third myth is, all right, I picked college, I picked Sierra, I picked a major, I'm done, right? I'm done. Like, I can just go take classes and just kind of, I don't have anything else that I need to do. And eventually the career will happen. That's not true either. So we do need to talk about what you're going to do. Who's going to pay you to have spent all this time learning how to do this thing or to be an expert in this area? And that's what we're going to spend more time on tomorrow, is how is it that we can help you formulate the best career that matches you and matches the world out there, that makes you the money that you want and need, and that allows you to become the fulfilled professional that you want to be. And that is a process. Some of you may be far along, some of you may be starting that, but we're definitely going to address it tomorrow. But we do want you to be working on it here. Willie talked about getting work experience to try out a field. We have an active internship program. We want to do everything we can to have you go out and experience the career that you're thinking about, and making sure, because sometimes careers have multiple majors that could lead to it. I have students who want to go into business, but they don't want to take 3 semesters of accounting. We have an option for that. There's a lot of things that we can talk about. So that's the last myth of that piece. So essentially, if we look at the giant database out there, there's about 2,000 possible majors. Did you know that? I know. I'm serious. In the official database, there's about 2,000 majors. Now, there's a lot of subspecialties and little nitpicky pieces in there. So at Sierra College, we basically have it boiled down to almost 50 programs. 50 programs for you to choose from, and out of that, there's over 70 possible majors, concentrations, and awards. Hi, folks. Shh. So, what we want to do is you may have already selected on your application, you know what you've got down, you might have an idea of what you're thinking about. So now what we need to do is to look at something called interest areas. And if you open up your booklet, it's about the fourth booklet, the fourth set of pages in, you'll see this same logo, and then you'll see our programs divided out. If you have a pen, grab that too. All right, so we have about 50 options that we want you to get narrowed down to, but that's still a lot of programs to consider. And what we want to do is we've boiled them down into 9 interest areas. So we've grouped similar programs together that either have similar kinds of preparation or similar jobs and industries that you go out into. And this is a simplified way of looking at what Sierra College has to offer and where it is that you fit in. Try to get rid of 3 that made you go, ugh. All right? We're going to put those to the bottom of the list. And then the ones that made you go, oh, can you get it to 1, 2, or 3 of those? It could be 4 if you need it. But identify up to 3, maybe 4 of the interest areas, and your task, your assignment, your official first assignment of Summer Jam, other than showing up for 3 days so you can be eligible for the book voucher, is to make sure you visit those tables at the interest area fair and get more information. That's more information about the interest area, more information about the specific programs, and the specific majors within it. All right? And as you go along, we realize that this will either confirm that you're on the right track, it might help you clarify or choose between a couple of choices by doing this, or in some cases it may mean that you're thinking, oh my God, I'm in the wrong program. We have counselors available, all right? So we'll be here to help you rework classes, to talk through it. If this just made you even more frantic and upset, like because you still don't have a clue, we're here to help. The only thing we need to do is keep you moving forward. We've got to get you narrowed down at some point, because it's fine to explore, but you can't swirl for too long before you start losing out on some time, money, and energy that you probably can't afford. So at this point, we're going to pick up tomorrow on some specific career pieces, and I'm going to turn it back to Sergio.